I apologize right now for how my voice might sound, how it might come off. I am currently getting over bronchitis. I don't know if I've ever had it before, but I definitely know for me it has definitely not been fun. So this is just going to be a bit unscripted, having the words come right out of my mouth. I'm not going at this point to with caring too much about with getting the likes, the subscribers, but for those that happen to fall upon this and you do like it, and good for you. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm not going to appease too much to the algorithm gods. Not going to appease too much to YouTube. Right now, I'm just going to do something of what I feel like that I want to say at this moment. Hopefully, it can be helpful to you, to whoever's listening to this. Maybe it's just something that can be a little reminder for both of us. But as usual, just going through the lot of the tiredness. At least what my version of tiredness is when dealing with all the various issues and stresses of life. All of the put upon stress, the internalized dialogues and thoughts and imaginations of with what the worst that life could have, when in reality, there could still be times where it's not always that, where your issues is the lion, when it is actually looks more like the mouse. Now, don't get me wrong. It could be that mouse, the one that's trying to control all the lions. And that there are still going to be times, though, that things are very disproportionate than to what they actually are. And you're not always going to be able to accurately predict or figure out which is which. And it makes it a lot more difficult to try to predict if you are following the methods that work for the one individual or the very few. And this might also have to do with coming down from with all the hardcore coughing, like I've been smoking 20 packs a day for my whole life. Your best bet is to deal with the worst thing for yourself is yourself. There is a reason for the saying that you're your own worst enemy, while others have their consequences of implanting the seed in you to give that idea. There's also the unfortunateness that you end up cultivating that seed, that you end up cultivating your own frustrations, your own depression, your own anger, if it is not something that you're already diagnosed with. And take it from someone who has gone through different mental health and psychological diagnosis. The further confusion and frustration in just trying to be able to live and exist. And it definitely has a lot of its rough patches, much like with my throat has been going through. And through my own stresses and traumas, even though I have never really gone through any of the worst possible kinds of hardships that I hear of many other stories from others, but we all still feel the stress and the traumas either way that prevents us, that makes it easy for us to be held back, thinking that it's a safer option, that it's a more secure option, but we end up sacrificing other things for that safety to be miserable. Even though the other harshness to us is that no matter what, whatever we choose, there's always going to be that harshness, there's always going to be the stress, there's always going to be issues that we're going to face. I'm sorry if I have to be the upteenth person to bring this up, but then again, I've had an inkling about with these sort of lessons for most of my life. Maybe I've had an understanding of what I thought it was trying to be, with what the message was, and would only at times have a better understanding of it if either I hear about what those things more often or if I had those direct experiences to know the exactness of being at that experience, but just in my own way, through my own unique flavor of my life. And why now these days, it is more important than ever for me to try to at least doing something. If there's something I can be able to do differently, not just for the sake of doing something differently, but something that I might want to try. And that if there is a mistake or if something that occurs with the result that I am not happy with or not satisfied with, or if I need to rest from it, as it were, then take the L, get the risk, get that assessment, try to work your way through with it, try to learn from it, and so be it. And that's why I'm doing this video a little differently. Just getting with my thoughts down, trying to do a little bit about with the editing, maybe not put too much pressure on how to make it was creative at times, or if I can just do simple speaking videos like this, and that's also fine. If it's not going to make any money or views, then that is what it is. As long as I am still trying, and I'm still doing my best for the moment, with the possibility, if there are other things I can be able to learn from it, then the less likely that I am keeping the possibility. And that maybe, just maybe, this little impromptu experiment could be something that you might end up looking for that you weren't thinking of looking for. Something for you that benefits you, that you're able to try and doing something different that is not hurting you or anyone else. And I get it. There are things that do suck right now. And I can definitely say that it's still truthful that while I do not like to hear that, it is still truth of that suckage. But then again, there's going to be moments in life where there's always things that are going to suck, but there's still going to be things that are good if you really want to look for it, if you make the attempt to look for it, if you make that attempt to try to find that balance, try to handle the hardships at each time and each moment, but still also aspire finding things that are better for you, that might just make things a little better for you in your life, for that it helps you go a little bit forward, to still keep going. You're not feeling trapped. You're not suffering in yourself. You're not suffering because of others, or that you're being a martyr and suffering for others. And also, in that big amount of suckage would have to mean going into yourself that you're not used to, if you're always so much more focused and worrying about what other people say and think, or what they think of how to go about within communities and in society to with the world at large. You find that it's a matter of finding of where your place is, where that little bit of happiness is for you, what that flavor of your life is, that little specific exactness in your life that it is, that does not fit so neatly even among the similarities that you have with others. And I have definitely found, with mostly being an introvert, but with my whole life, I had to go through a lot of the worst, and also to struggling to finding the best, and especially for with others who have been able to see the good in me when I couldn't, until it coming to a point where I'm able to slowly but surely find that, to be able to say that for myself as well. And that does mean to going through the muck, through the suckage, to find that opposite, to understand that dichotomy, but also not get too trapped by it either. Maybe perhaps a dichotomy of that dichotomy, meaning that looking at things that are one way or another, but are in between and outside.